Hello everyone and welcome back. It's been 5 months. I thought I would make a quick update about something that I haven't really addressed and something that I feel like I should bring up, which is Top 20 Ranked. So, y'all are probably wondering, what the fuck happened? Why did I stop posting Top 20 Ranked videos? So, I'm gonna completely level with you. The last time I made a Top 20 Ranked video was for the chart week of January 18th, okay? So that was 5 months ago. I bring this up because I was making top 20 ranked videos monthly, and to be clear, even if I was making them quarterly, that would be every 3 months. So even if I was planning on making them quarterly and not monthly, I would still be late on it, which wasn't even something that I announced. Basically, I was 2 weeks late with that chart because I waited 1 week because of Christmas music, and then the next week I just forgot or got bored or something. I don't remember. I found the charts to be excruciatingly boring, and honestly, this whole year has been really flipping weird for reasons that we're all aware. And I have found the charts to be excruciatingly boring this year. And I thought, okay, the charts aren't very interesting and not much has changed, so I'm just going to take a month off of Top 20 Ranked. And then I was thinking, oh, I guess I'll do, I'll just take February off and then I'll do one in March. And then March is kind of when everything hits. And I have had absolutely no desire to make Top 20 Ranked since then. I have had, I thought I was going to take, a month off, and then it turned into 2 months, it turned into 3 months, it turned into 4 months, and now it's been 5 months since I made a Top 20 Ranked. And it's pretty insane that that's happened, and I think it's worth bringing up, because a lot of people are like, where's the people are probably wondering where that series went, right? That monthly series that I was pushing out like clockwork. And to be honest, it got really tiring to do it monthly, especially when I had school and other obligations. Now I don't have school, and I have other things I do need to be concerned with, like getting a job. That's a whole other personal issue. But I will say that my mental health was kind of severely affected by the pandemic, as in March was when my mental health went crazy. Now, musically speaking, I've had very little connection to popular music. I've actually been behind watching Billboard Breakdown, which is probably one of my biggest gateways to what's popular. If you don't know what Billboard Breakdown is, it's a YouTube show hosted by Mark from Spectrum Pulse. So, yeah. And it talks about the charts every week. I bring this up because there were actually a few weeks where I missed Billboard Breakdown. Last time I remember anything interesting happening on Billboard Breakdown was the week of the BTS album bomb. Mini album bomb, I guess. And yeah, The Weeknd had an album. I genuinely forgot what music was. I genuinely forgot how to follow music. Outside of, being aware, reading the charts all the time, seeing what's popular, I would listen to music in the car radio, and honestly, I haven't been doing that for months now. And I was in the car the other day, and for the first time in months, I turned on the radio. Now, most of the songs that they played were old as fuck, which confirms my suspicion that there's nothing new or interesting for the radio to play. The only song I heard on the radio, which I hadn't heard on the radio before, was Toosie Slide. That's it. And I already heard that song because it's a Drake song that got buzz. I don't even know where I heard it. Probably TikTok. I feel like TikTok is my only connection to popular music at this point. The only reason I know any songs at all are from TikTok, which is fucking insane to me. I was very on top of, what's popular, what's charting, I remember last week I was like, I don't even know what the number one song in the country is. I know what the number one song in the country is this week. It's Stuck With You by Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber. And I've heard it once. I barely remember. I've had no desire to listen to any of the music that's come out. 6ix9ine has made a comeback, which makes me utterly, viscerally disgusted. When we had the BTS album and we just figured out that it's just not going to happen, having any sort of chart longevity isn't going to happen. And I don't even like On that much, so I could have, that's a whole other conversation. But when I figured out that the radio is just going to be as annoying and white bread as ever, and that they literally haven't played anything different in 5 months, and that they're still playing songs from 2 years ago, when I figured out that we're just never going to get anything interesting to have lasting impact on the charts, and the shit we get on the charts is absolute bullshit. And I kind of felt like I'd narrowed my mind, and I narrowed what I liked down to just what was popular on the Billboard charts. And if something wasn't popular, it was the end of the world for me. When I root for a song to be on the charts, it was like a huge fucking deal. And if that song wasn't on the charts, oh, it can't make my end of the year list. Oh, I can't talk about it. In other words, it was like if a song doesn't chart, I can't talk about it. And if it doesn't chart the week I happen to make my top 20 ranking, then I can't talk about it. I heavily considered doing a top 20 ranking that week when BTS debuted in the top 20. Now, I was thinking about doing it. I don't even remember what was at the bottom of that chart. I think there was definitely some stuff. I definitely had material that week, and that was in March. I think that was March. Was that February? Was that before the pandemic? I genuinely don't remember when that was. It was after my due time. I don't even remember when that album came out. Because I've listened to like 4 albums. I have listened to it. I've listened to like, I mean, I'm a terrible album listener in general. That's not my wheelhouse, but, as I was saying, I bring all this up because I feel that, top 20 ranked is something that I was very close to doing it that week because I was like, oh, I'm going to wait till BTS, and then I decided not to do it because I had this, like, conflict of, like, I'm on Twitter, and, like, Twitter, it's like there are, like, 2 groups of people who are going to be mad at me no matter what I said, basically, because if I said I liked the song, then my music critic fans were going to be mad at me, and if I said I didn't like the song, my ARMY friends were going to be mad at me, so it's like, and honestly, I'm somewhere in the middle. But it's kind of like, literally what I said would not matter because people are going to get pissed. Because I know people who fucking hate this. I know plenty of people who are ambivalent to it. I know it's like bringing up on, like, that's a song, and I'm like, it would at least be something to have, like, a year into. And I mean, Way with Love had the best shot, and I don't want to, and I just want to make one thing abundantly clear. I don't want to talk about Halsey right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm going to leave you in ignorance because I don't want to talk about it. So what I'm saying is that I just genuinely, but I also don't want to talk about 6ix9ine. So it's like I genuinely have had no reason ever since that album bomb. I was saying, oh, maybe I'll do it next week, and then the song plummeted. And then I was just like, oh, maybe I'll do a K-pop top 20 rank. But the problem with that is that there's so many different streaming charts in Korea. There isn't like one universal chart I can use to make a top 20 rank. And there's literally a streaming chart that updates every hour. I'm not joking. So yeah, I didn't know what to do with that. I was considering it, but then I ended up not doing it. And then I ended up just not making any top 20 ranked videos. I was considering it because I wanted to talk about K-pop, and if I really wanted to talk about BTS, I could have just talked about BTS. I was going to make an album review. That didn't happen either because, again, my mental health has been absolutely fucking bullshit. As I already mentioned that, I was going to make an album review like 2 months after the album came out. I actually did a Periscope stream and was chilling and listening to it, although I wasn't able to listen to On because my friend who happened to be watching the stream fucking hates that song. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just, we joke about it. But the point is that I barely use Twitter because Twitter is a hellhole and I fucking hate it. But a lot of the people I talk to on Twitter aren't K-pop stans because I don't really talk to stans of anything on Twitter. It's not just K-pop. It's if you stan anything or anyone on Twitter, I don't really talk to you because most of them tend to be fucking crazy. So I can't, like... Anyway, getting back to, and I've had bad experiences with fandoms before on Twitter. It was actually a rock fandom, but I want to make a whole video about that some other time. But I bring all this up because I feel that the lack of top 20 ranked videos, it's been like, where the fuck have I been in terms of that? And there was like a month where I didn't make any videos at all, like anything. And now I'm doing reaction videos and stuff. I was not making anything at all because just my mental health. I just had absolutely no motivation to film whatsoever. I would have ideas for videos and I'd be like, oh, that's cool. And then I would just like not. And I had like no motivation to film, to plan it out. I would like plan videos from my bed, but like I had no like, I didn't want to get up in front of a camera and record. And when the state of popular music, when the top 20, when the stuff that's charting just makes you depressed. And music is looking up, yeah, I mean, it's been looking up since last year. I mean, it's not like 2018 levels of depressing, but it's just like, and it's like, I remember I was rooting for Say So, I was rooting for, at that point, I didn't know that Dr. Luke produced the song, so before anyone comes at my throat for rooting for that song to chart high, and it actually became a #1 hit a couple weeks ago, I think. I genuinely don't remember at this point. I still think the song is pretty good, but that's a whole other topic I'm not going to dive into. I was rooting for Don't Start Now and Blinding Lights, and they both became huge hits, so awesome for them. So some of my like predictions and rooting for was come right. I think I kind of lost faith in the pop charts when Dua Lipa dropped her, or before she dropped her album, she released the single Physical, which was immediately one of my favorite pop songs I'd heard in a long time. I just thought it was downright fantastic. I love synth pop like that, and I just don't hear it very much. Physical by Dua Lipa was one of my favorite songs I'd heard in a long time, and when it failed to catch on, I just kind of lost all faith in the pop charts. Like, at the end of the day, I have my issues with the charting, and when it comes to K-pop, it's not so much of people not streaming shit. Maybe it's like, maybe you didn't stream it because it sucked. But no, for real, my issue is the radio. My issue is not just the radio. Songs obviously don't need radio anymore. We got. You know, I was joking around the time I'm like, hey, ARMYs, if you really want on to trend, you need to make a TikTok dance out of it, because that's how things get popular now. No joke. That's legitimately a thing. Like, things are only popular now because of TikTok. Fucking TikTok. Yeah, I don't get it either. But I was making a joke about that, but the point is that rappers will have high streaming debuts, and they'll keep their songs around because people actually stream them, and you could just say it's a smaller fan base, or I don't really know. I don't mean it's a smaller fan base, like, individually. Like, I don't think there's a fan base for an individual artist that's bigger, but I mean, like, the entire hip-hop community versus the entire hip-hop community / casual Spotify listeners versus ARMYs. Like, it's not proportional. Like, and I'm specifically talking U.S. ARMYs because this is the U.S. charts, so maybe if you had everyone on the entire planet, but that's a whole other, it's and I bring all that up because it just made me really frustrated, but my frustration is that the types of questions that get asked at interviews, the types of things that are just, I don't want to say racism, xenophobia maybe, I don't know, I don't like the way the Western record industry and media treats BTS. I'm just gonna put it that way. It's like the industry has an aversion to it. So it's like the Western industry has an aversion to K-pop to a point where it's like, and I'm like, whatever, like, Gangnam Style got in fine. Like, they had no problem playing that on the radio. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, it's like to the point where it's like, just because it's in another language, obviously you'll play Spanish songs, and it's just like, I just don't understand. Like, even if people don't speak the language, people will still want to listen to it. People like songs, and even when the companies in Korea make an effort to push it for the Western market, okay? When they make an effort to make remixes with Western artists, when they do all that, it doesn't matter because the Western market has such a strong aversion to K-pop, and that makes me really frustrated because it's just, and this is just an issue in America in general. I don't want to get political here, but this is something that really bothers the hell out of me. It's just that no one talks about, and I'm not saying it's straight up racism to have, have the record industry have an aversion to shit, but it's just like, in general, no one talks about the racism against Asians that is like a thing in America. Like, I know, like, obviously we all know about like racism against black people, racism against Latinos, but whatever, right? We all know about that, right? And that's bad. Racism in any form is bad, by the way. I just want to be very clear that I'm not condoning racism against anyone else. However, that's the stuff that gets talked about. People all know that there's racism against black people, or there's racism, like, people know that, and that's like a thing. It's like, if you go online and see something bad about a black person, it's like you immediately get lambasted, rightfully so, because you shouldn't do that. But it's like, oh, I've seen so many insensitive jokes about Asians on the internet. I've seen like so many, especially during this pandemic, I've seen so many rude, insensitive, and this isn't just about Koreans or K-pop, this is just in general, just like Chinese people. I mean, just like, the shit I see is just so disgusting, and no one seems to really get rightfully angry at it like they would. Like, it's kind of like when they're like, oh, when they make these jokes about, like, like the Ching Chong jokes or whatever, I'm like, I'm so sick of it. Like, why are you doing that? Like, people don't freak out over it, but it's like if you say, it's like, and I read this, it's like, people will say certain things, okay, right? And I'll just like see people say certain things online, and like people will freak out, like, oh, if someone says the N-word, or like if someone, like, I don't know, it's just like, I mean, depending on the context of it, but it's just like, it's like you can get canceled for saying or writing the, like, I'm saying, like, celebrities, like influencers, people online can get canceled for like saying the N-word years and years ago. Like, if someone finds a video of them years ago saying the N-word, then that's like immediate like cancellation. Whereas with like I don't know, it's like, oh, people can say whatever the heck they want about Asians. They can say they're just always eat this, you know, they'll eat anything, they'll eat the filthy things, you know, they're dirty, they're whatever. They can just say that shit all they want, and no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. And it is just so sickening to me. I'm not Asian. I don't even know that many Asian people. I don't live in an area where there's lots of Asian people. I just don't. But I have no reason to hate. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's honestly so ridiculous, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the bullshit. So, being a bit of a tangent there, but it's something that the aversion, the Western media aversion to K-pop, and the kind of, it really rubs me the wrong way when BTS can't get songs that chart for more than a set number of weeks. In other words, a year-end hit. The only year-end K-pop hit is still Gangnam Style, and Gangnam Style is a weird viral novelty, and I'm not trying to say, like, Psy, you're great, that's not the fucking point, but it's like, where is the, these songs, there are enough people that like BTS, there are enough, and I mean, I don't think it's just at the radio. Like I said, a radio push wouldn't necessarily mean anything. It would definitely help, but considering streaming is really the big thing, and songs can get to number one without radio and can become long hits with longevity, like The Box by Roddy Ricch, obviously. That song became a hit. That was just a song that just became a hit off streaming and was a number one song for several weeks and will definitely make the year-end list easily, and never really had a radio push. So obviously we don't need the radio anymore. So when it comes to BTS, I'm just not really sure if, like, the general streaming audience, I think it's because something like The Box is, like, a rap song, it's, like, hip-hop, and I'm not saying BTS doesn't have songs that are hip-hop, but it's going to be pushing, like, pop singles, right? And people on Spotify will just listen to, like, pop, or just will listen to, like, hip-hop, just very, like, common, you know, I don't know. And also, The Box was big on TikTok, so that's another thing. But the point I'm making is that I just felt, like, double defeated. I felt defeated because I felt like I couldn't say anything about the song itself without someone getting very angry at me. And I'm just going to say it right now, On is a mediocre song. I don't like it. I don't, the production is way too cluttered. I'm just going to say my piece. The production is way too cluttered. I think Jungkook, I've already said this before, but I think Jungkook does not sound as good as everyone says he does on the bridge. He sounds really strained, in my opinion. I just don't like it. I really, the chorus is great, it's uplifting, you know, you got the part leading up to the chorus, but just the production overall is super cluttered, and I don't like that. Anyway, so that's your, song review, and I'm fucking done, but, I only say that because I will say most of the rest of the album is better. I say most because Respect is a nothing of a song that I just genuinely don't have any interest in, but yeah. This is not a Map of the Soul 7 review. This is supposed to be an update about where the fuck I've been. So yeah. Anyway, I bring all this up because I'm, like, into K-pop in a big way, and I'm getting into J-pop, and I'm listening to other things, and I like music wherever it's from. I don't discriminate. Like, to me, I don't even see what the big deal is. Oh, you like Korean music. Oh, you like Korean music. It's like, you know, it's like, who actually cares, right? So anyway, what I'm going to say is that this coming chart week, as of, you know, Tuesday when the chart releases, and I don't know when the video will be out, but I will be making a top 20 ranked, because it's about goddamn time I did. However, I don't know if I'll be doing it monthly. We'll just have to see how that pans out. It might be quarterly. I just don't know yet. Another thing that I think is worth mentioning is, that I'm not going to be strictly making videos about the Hot 100 charts. I'm going to make videos about whatever I want, and I've always done that to an extent, but I'm going to try to branch out and talk about music. I'm not going to, like, go down the rabbit hole of, like, listening to albums that are critically acclaimed just so I can review them, but I'm just going to review what I feel like reviewing. I'm not going to make myself review things because it's popular. End of story. So, and that doesn't mean I'll only be doing positive reviews. If there's something that I really don't like and I want to review it, then that's a reason to review it. I want to be clear on that, because sometimes I want to review a song because it's shit, but and probably doing more, like, individual song reviews. So anyway, guys, I have to go. This video is really longer than I meant to be, but I just wanted to say I am making another top 20 ranked video. The main reason why was because just everything of that happened with my mental health. The charts got really boring, and I just refused to care anymore. I gotta go now. Bye.